So this is not something that's going to be very surprising for hopefully most people. When I share my thoughts on this game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, we did get the gameplay extended trailer during the PlayStation State of Play, and I thought about doing a few different videos about the different announcements, maybe one video per announcement that I want to talk about. So if I decide to do that, this would be part one, I guess, of those announcements. And I wanted to start with this one in particular because it was the main announcement, the big one for that event. And I have a lot to say because, in my opinion, which I have to say that, clearly, because there are those who watch my videos and don't understand when I mention something that's my opinion, or I say my opinion, they think I'm trying to talk fact and it's as if I know everything that I'm saying is accurate and 100% true. I'm saying in my opinion, okay? And I've seen so far that others share a similar opinion, but in my opinion, this game is going to fail drastically. It's not going to get the sales that they're expecting to make. And I was going to do a podcast episode with my podcast, and we didn't get to do it because, if you are a fan of the podcast and the members, Frankie has been traveling recently, so I had to, we're trying to plan things around that, and he is back now, so maybe we'll do a podcast. Anyway, we had this discussion about when a game company, a developer company, or whatever you want to call it, have their meetings for like, this is the game we want to make, this is the idea we're going to go with, this is how we see the game going. Is there not one person or a couple people in these meetings, in these positions, who would stand up and say, hey, you know what, I myself have an opinion on how I think this project is going so far. This project is not going to make us the money we expect it to make because it's a stupid idea, or the game is going to fail based on these elements and aspects you want to use. The honest truth that I can say with my opinion on this game is that this is DC's Avengers, okay? It's a live service, most likely going to be pay to get all this extra shit they're going to include, pay for this, pay for that. You're going to pay full price for a game that isn't 100% complete. And there's a lot to talk about what I think about this game and why I think it's going to fail. And it's basically DC's Avengers. And again, I don't know how those meetings work in these developers, but there has to be someone with a brilliant mind, because think about it, these games are not easy to make. This is a whole process, whole bunch of teams, a bunch of people involved in that process of making games. It's not an easy thing to do, but there has to be someone who can say, hey, you know what, I'm looking at the gameplay we're doing, I'm looking at the themes we're using, the gameplay mechanics, this is honestly fucking stupid and it's not gonna work. And if they get fired, then guess what? They could, get fired and then turn it to a whole story, and it's gonna make, maybe progress their career further when it comes out that they were right and the game is a piece of shit. And I understand it's a gamble. Not everybody wants to do the gamble, but here's why I think the game is gonna be a failure. Okay, live service. That's number one. You have to be online to play the game. I'm pretty sure Avengers was the same thing. Live service, have to be online to play it, even if you're doing single player, right? Now, granted, this one does have an open world to explore in Metropolis, but it's very empty. I get it, there's an alien invasion and the Justice League is brainwashed, but there's nobody in the game. There's no NPCs in the game. You have a Metropolis to explore, and not only are there no NPCs, but as far as we know, you can't play as Superman in Metropolis. And you easily could have done some kind of Superman video game. I still believe there is a potential to make a good Superman video game, especially after the success of the Arkham games. And honestly, yes, Gotham Knights, in my opinion, is not worth the full price, but it is an actually pretty decent game based on a number of things. And I think the Gotham City in Gotham Knights is far superior to the Gotham we got in Arkham Knight, for many different reasons. I'll get into that in another video, but I think Gotham Knights has certain things that made it bad and certain things that made it kind of good. And with the Arkham franchise having as good as they were, and this team making this stupid Suicide Squad game made the Arkham games, there is a potential to make a really good Superman game. But aside from that, here's more of the problems, right? It's 4-player co-op. You don't have to play 4 players, but it's 4-player co-op, which means each of the 4 characters belongs to a specific class, which means every new character they're planning to add to the game is going to fall under that class. Now, what are those characters going to be? Are they going to be other members of the Suicide Squad? Are we going to see Bloodsport, Peacemaker, what's that one guy? El Diablo? Are we going to see, I think maybe Killer Croc was part of them once, I think. I can't be too sure exactly on that. Are we gonna get like Enchantress? The list goes on and on. And in terms of that list going on and on, not every character, to me at least, not every one of those characters are interesting. Okay, you have a potential for a Superman video game or even a Flash video game. We are getting a Wonder Woman one down the road. We don't know much about it, but so live service, stupid. Being online all the time, stupid, right? The empty city. The story to me is kind of, I want to see how they make the story make sense, because it is a sequel to Arkham Knight. It's 5 years after Arkham Knight. If you didn't know that, the game does take place 5 years after Arkham Knight, which if you beat the game and got the Nightfall ending, it's where, Batman kills himself and sacrifices himself or whatever. And I guess he continues as like a fear toxin user or something, whatever the whole ending was. So potentially, Batman shouldn't be in this game. And I think the only way this game is going to make sales is the fact that it's as far as we know, the last project that Kevin Conroy worked on as Batman. That's the only thing that will have me buy the game, but not at full price, okay? And of course, things could change. We could be wrong about it, and it can actually be a really good video game. But if you be realistic here and think about all the things that they're doing for this game, it's literally DC's Avengers, and that game is actually getting shut down, and they're gonna remove it from the stores, and I think they said at some point the servers will be shut down, so you can't even play the game anymore at that point. And I don't understand why game developers think it's a good idea to make a video game that is a live service. It's not a good idea. You have a game like Fortnite, that's different. That's a free-to-play game. You're just paying for the skins and stuff. And if you want to buy more, like the money or whatever for the game, the V-Bucks, but they don't do anything to give you an edge against the competition. It doesn't help you become a better player. You all get the same weapons and shit that you got to find in the map, but it's a free-to-play game. You can pay for the stuff if you want to, but you don't have to, right? Games like this and Avengers, you pay full price for an incomplete game, and they charge you throughout time for these other characters to play as, and it's really stupid. I'm tired of these games that are trying these different aspects that don't work. Live service games do not work. There was a time where you had games from that same developer who did like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, Detroit Become Human. Those games were pretty good, but they were also similar to like the Telltale games, and at the time they were working. Not so much anymore. You don't really see them anymore. You do get Life is Strange, and I guess that's kind of in that theme, but other than that, you don't really see that exist anymore. When it comes to a superhero video game, I honestly think it needs to be, for the most part, a open world game, especially in this kind of theme, right? You got Captain Boomerang with the super speed, right? I don't know how they're gonna explain that, but Captain Boomerang has super speed. Could have done a Flash game. Deadshot has the jetpack that he can like glide around or whatever. That could be for another video game character or something with a jetpack to fly around a city. Or since he's flying around, Superman, right? There you go. Harley Quinn gets to swing around the city in this game. It looks like they stole or borrowed some mechanics and animations from Marvel's Spider-Man. And granted, I love Harley Quinn. She's an amazing character, and from the sound of it, I think she is voiced by Tara Strong, which if so, that's awesome. But it looks like they're stealing the stuff from Spider-Man for her to swing through the city. And again, the city's empty. You have enemies, but there's no NPCs, no cars driving around. To me, it's just I don't really know what else to say about this game. I am waiting for my podcast team to get together and we can do another thing there, because I want to hear their thoughts and ideas. But my friend, one of my friends, the Film Cubano, Chris, he did say that he goes, I don't know who made this game, but it was not the same people who made Arkham Knight, because it's night and day. Not also, literally Arkham is nighttime and this is daytime, but just the way the game looks and the story and the mechanics they're using, at this point, honestly, I would say Gotham Knights is a better game than what this is going to be, because you don't have to play online to play the game. You can do 2-player co-op in the world. Unfortunately, 30 frames per second, yes, cry about it. But you can play 2-player co-op and go throughout the city, whatever, do whatever you want. You don't have to be tethered together. And you have the 4-player wave DLC where you can fight enemies in waves. I am planning to try that soon, so that should be really fun. But I think Gotham Knights is a pretty decent game, especially if you can get it on sale. It's been dropping down to like $25, $30 something. That's a perfect price for Gotham Knights. I think that if you explore Gotham City on foot, you see some amazing things. Yes, a lot of buildings get reused and a lot of different things are reused, but there's a lot of stuff that you see that's really cool, and you see a really nice Gotham City that they made that it feels like you're actually in Gotham City when you play those games. And I think if you want a really good superhero game, if you have a PlayStation, obviously Spider-Man. If you have an Xbox, you can still play Arkham Knight, which is good, I guess. Gotham Knights, as I said, is a pretty good one for now. Do not waste your money on this video game. It's just DC's Avengers. The game is going to fail. It's going to get shut down eventually, whether it's another year or 2 years, whatever. It's not going to continue. The characters that they're going to add, I can only imagine what characters they would add that would either like make sense, or the ones that you want to play as won't be added till towards the end of their whole plan. One thing that was cool is Gizmo from Teen Titans is in the game, but in here he's not a teenager, he's an old man or older man, and he has a lot of facial hair and shit. But it's cool to see Gizmo. Like, I've only seen him in Teen Titans. I've never seen him in anything else. No other anime, cartoon, or movie, or I don't really read comic books. But hey, Gizmo's in the game, so that's pretty cool. I'll take that. And of course, I said Tara Strong as Harley Quinn. I believe is her in the game, and Kevin Conroy Batman. Like, that's to me is the only reason they're gonna make the sales, is because of Kevin Conroy's Batman. And as much as I loved his performance, I don't think that is justified for a reason to buy the game, because you don't buy a game just for the performance. You buy it for the gameplay, the graphics, the story, the enjoyment, how much you're gonna get enjoyment out of it. I had my copy of Horizon Forbidden West included in my PS5 with the bundle, and you know, you don't really pay the extra price because it's included, but I would not have been upset if I bought the game full price, because that is worth the $70 with all the extra side missions and content and the DLC releasing in a couple months. The game alone, just with this without the DLC, if you do 100% completion, from what I'm told, you're looking at about 50 to 60 hours of gameplay. And it looks amazing, and the gameplay is fun, and it sounds amazing, and a lot of cool features, cool mechanics, and the photo mode is fucking amazing. I'm a sucker for photo mode. If a game has photo mode, I'm all for it. Hogwarts Legacy don't, so that kind of sucks, but I spend so much time in photo mode, whether it's Spider-Man, Horizon, Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights has really good photo mode, honestly. Surprisingly, Gotham Knights photo mode is better than Spider-Man's photo mode, in my opinion. God of War Ragnarok, unfortunately, the photo mode is ass, but hey, this game is not, I don't think it's worth your money. I don't think it's gonna be any good. I'm kind of just ranting and rambling, but you get the point. So I am gonna upload this video, and if I do the other ones, I'll upload that as well. But that's my point of view. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys on the next one.